Hey guys, welcome to my channel again. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I had a viewer who asked me a specific question about one of the mud washes and how she could mix it to her liking. So I'm going to show you some of the different variations that I do, and this is the absolute last series for the mud wash because I think we've kind of beat that horse to death. It's time to move on to other things. So first we're going to go over the ingredients, and then I'm going to talk about some of them just a little bit. So stay tuned. Okay guys, the ingredients are as follows. The onion skins, we're visiting those again. We thought we had gotten away from that, but we didn't because of the smoothing properties and the antibacterial and fungal, especially with it being dark and a lot of us wearing our hair in twists and braids a little bit longer. This is an excellent thing to put in your mud washes. We also have peppermint leaf, and we'll come back to that a little bit. We're going to make that into a tea, actually. I like to put Iceland moss in any of my mixes in the winter time because of the moisture that it gives you. We're also going to have sage. Sage is a very good stimulant for growth. You can use it for a lot of different things, but excellent for hair growth and stimulating to the scalp. Of course, we're going to have the rhassoul clay, which is my absolute favorite. We're going to have aloe vera gel, not aloe vera gel, that's a lie. This is aloe vera juice in an aloe vera gel jar, but since I had such a small amount left, I put it into the gel jar. This is home infused peppermint oil. I don't know if you could see the green tint to that, but what I did to make it, and it's not an involved process, it just takes time. I took the peppermint leaf, organic peppermint leaf, and infused it into sunflower, any type of nut oil, but I used sunflower oil for 6 months. This was a full jar, and we're slowly getting into it to get the oil. And once the 6 months had passed, I strained it all out, making sure that everything that you put into oil should be dry. Squeezed it all out, even down to the dregs, and here we are. We have our peppermint oil. We've already gone over the sage. One of the things that we're going to use as a preservative is grapefruit peel powder. Now, they say you can use the grapefruit seed for the preservative, but I cannot find that. So this grapefruit peel powder has worked excellent for me. One of the other humectants or emollients that I'm going to use is honey. This is just a jar of honey. We're going to use eucalyptus oil. Now, this is just in a jar because someone shared some of theirs with me. But with the eucalyptus oil, you have to be real careful because just like if your mother ever put Vicks salve or anything like that, it kind of opens up those sinuses. It's very stimulating to the scalp. So you can only use a little bit of this because with some people it is a really bad irritant. We're going to use rosemary oil because that is a wonderful scalp stimulant also. Tea tree oil because that's a nice scalp stimulant, and also the antifungal, antibacterial. I am making this mud specifically because of the stimulating properties and also because of the dandruff fighting properties that I'm trying to get out of it for a person that I'm making it for, and also the Clary sage. I know we have two different types of sage, but I want to use the sage leaf and also a little bit of the sage oil. Now let's see if we can get that to focus a little bit better. I don't think we can, but we'll come back to that in just a second. So hold on. Okay guys, I'm back. I cannot find my tripod anywhere, so we're going to have to do this a little bit one-handed. So here we go. You know, we're the mothers of invention and all that. But first let me tell you about my hair. Everyone always asks me, why is your hair never down? Well, it's down sometime, but sometime by the time I get around to filming, it's just not going to happen. Today, it is just into my two little buns, cinnabuns if you want to call it that. I call them my Mickey Mouse puffs. I love them, love them, love them. They're quick and easy, a good, quick, easy way to pull your hair up and you're out the door. No gel, just water and brush it, and there you go. But let's get back down to the mix. In the bowl, we have about 4 large tablespoons of the rhassoul clay. You know that's my absolute favorite, so we're going to set that to the side as we go along. And I'm going to sit this camera down and try to do it that way. In the bowl, we've already put a tablespoon of the peppermint leaves, a tablespoon of the Iceland moss, and a tablespoon of the sage leaves. That's to make our tea infusion, and we're going to strain that into the clay like we normally do. If you've seen any of the clay videos, that was a half of a cup of the aloe vera juice. Half a cup of aloe vera juice and 4 tablespoons of the rhassoul clay. And let's have a look at that and see how that looks. There you go. Oh man, that smells so good. And if you need a little bit more aloe vera juice, you can just pour some out your bottle, and there you go. Because mainly we're trying to get the infusion from the tea. That is too thick, so definitely we're going to have to add more juice to it. So for the 4 tablespoons, I would have to say I'm going to probably need 3/4 cup. Man, that smells so good. It reminds you of Christmas time. And we're going to mix that up a little bit. Let me put the top back on this. But like I was saying with the peppermint leaf, you can infuse that and make one of the absolute best, not so much essential oils, but infused oils, and save yourself quite a bit of money. You can do that with sage. You can do that with most organic herbs and spices. Just read up on them and do your research. Alrighty, let's get back to the bowl. We got everything in the bowl here. Get that mud mixed up a little bit. We want to do the wet first and then come to the oils. And I think we got everything kind of wet, so let me set this camera down. Alrighty, and to that, let me get this open. We're going to add a teaspoon of honey. You can add a teaspoon, tablespoon, whatever it is that you want. As you can see, we're using a plastic spoon and a wooden spoon to mix it. Let's get that in the bowl. There we go. We're going to do, I do have a pipette, but I cannot find it, so we have to do what we can do. With our beautiful green infused peppermint oil, we're going to put 2 teaspoons, which is 1 tablespoon, into the mix. Oh man, that smells so good too. That'll last quite a bit. Very stimulating to the scalp. Because I am making this specifically for a person that is having a problem with dandruff, we're going to put about a half a teaspoon of the tea tree oil. I don't know how many drops that is. I think I need another drop or 2. There we go. We're also going to put a half a teaspoon. Well, actually, this one has a dropper, so we can count the drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 drops of the rosemary. And the Clary sage, we're going to put 5 drops of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the eucalyptus oil, because we're going to be very careful with this, we're going to put just a few little drops. I would say that's maybe a 1/4 teaspoon, because like I said, eucalyptus can sometimes be an irritant, so we need to be very careful with that. Let me get that off the spoon. I'm going to pick up the camera again. As you can see, your oils are in the bowl. Your infused peppermint tea with sage and Iceland moss is in the bowl. We're going to mix that up really good. The honey is in there also. Helps with some of the liquid portion. Because I dilute them, I make the muds a little bit thicker. This one is, I would say, one of my thinner ones, but you know, you can always add more mud. Once it sits a little bit and it's in the refrigerator, it's going to thicken ever so slightly, just ever slightly. This is a quick and easy recipe. This is going to give you several washes. What I have been doing with it lately is putting it in little individual, those little Tupperware containers that you can get. Well, they're not really Tupperware. You can get them at the Dollar Tree, and freezing them individually. That way you have a batch ready. Take it out the night before and you're good to go. Because I am giving this to someone and they're probably going to keep it in their refrigerator for maybe up to 3 weeks to a month. We have the honey in there. We have the tea tree. But we're also going to put the grapefruit seed powder in there. Very, very, very good preservative. Let me set the camera down. Because I do not have another plastic spoon, we're going to have to use a metal spoon. But as soon as I ever find my plastic measuring spoons, we're good to go. we're going to put about a tablespoon of the grapefruit seed powder in there, and that's what we're using as our preservatives. You can use vitamin E. The rosemary also has preservative properties to it, so that's going to help to preserve your mix. But that grapefruit seed powder, I will put all the information as to where I ordered some of these things. It's going to preserve that mix a very long time. One of the big things, and one of the things that I have loved the most about this mix is the eucalyptus. When you put this on your head feels like a peppermint per se. Like someone has wrapped you up kind of in, you remember when your mom put, what was that, Vicks salve in your chest, kind of opened up your nose? That's kind of how your head feels. Like I said, eucalyptus oil can be a little bit irritating, so be very careful with that. One of the other nice key points of eucalyptus also is it kills Staph aureus. It also kills athlete's foot and yeast. So if you're having any kind of those problems in your hair, not athlete's foot of course, but dandruff is basically a yeast, this would be an excellent recipe for you. Plus that smell of peppermint. Oh man, you know I love things that smell good. And we're pretty much done with our mix. If we have a look at this, we'll see that it's nice and thick, nice and creamy. We'll get our batches put in our container and we're good to go. You guys hit me back and let me know. I'm going to put the subscriber's name at the top of the link, and I hope that helps. I think she's going to put peppermint and spearmint in hers, but these are the things that I put in mine, and that's the end of the mud series. So bye guys, see you later. Okay guys, we're at the very end of the video. I wanted to come back and just show you exactly, the mud looks kind of crazy, I know. It either looks like chocolate chips or a pile of something else. But instead of putting it in the little pots like I planned to, I put it in the freezer, just kind of dabbed it on some wax paper and put it in the freezer. Let me pick one of them up here. And there you go, you have a piece of your mud. You could either break it in half or you can just freeze it like that and put it in plastic bags. That's a nice way of preserving it too. So when I present it to the gentleman, he can decide what he wants to do or how he wants to store it. But that's a quick and easy way to preserve some of your mixes. And I just wanted to kind of show you some of the thickness of it too. This is a thicker mud, like I said, after all the things that we put in it. I know I didn't show it very well in the bowl, but it thickened up really nicely. There's a little bit on my hand there, not sticky or anything, but I usually cut these in half and dilute them with a little bit of warm water and put them in my bottle and put them on the scalp. But I hope you guys enjoy the peppermint wash, hair mud wash. Sorry that I didn't show the bowl as well, but thanks for watching. Bye-bye.